Hello everyone. So I'm going to do some spiritual journey journaling and going to share my experiences so far on my spiritual path, which where to begin? There's so much that has been like downloaded and injected into my brain, and there's so much that just spills out, and all these ideas and all these thoughts, and sharing something, anything is where I need to start, just to get it out there and put it in a form that others on the spiritual path may know you're not alone. These are only my experiences, my facts for my path. But so many similarities, so many synchronicities, so many timelines that have just come, cyclically back, meeting me here to this moment. And 33 is, I just looked down at the timer at 1:33, is a big number, and so much began 33 years ago. There's so many things. So the trauma. I want to start with trauma because growing up from the time I was 5, which I have a lot of memories before 5. Some of my earliest memories, I believe, were, I don't know, somewhere right around 2, maybe a little before, but I mean, I have a lot. I can recall huge gaps of time from being 2 and a little before that. But at 5, something changed. There was a big shift that happened then. And what would psychologically be termed as a, there was a disconnect, I guess. There's a more psychological term, but I can't recall what it is. But there was a disconnect between me and my mother, and it sought me a stronger connection with my father, both of which were playing out this narcissistic relationship of themselves, between themselves. My mother being the, narcissistically abused, and then, my father being the overbearing, do as I say, not as I do. What dad's mood is my mood. Basically, we weren't abused, we weren't physically abused, but we were severely neglected. And my huge disconnect was at 5. There was a bond between my mother and I that was, I remember clear as day. I would lay my head on my mother's lap, and she would just run my hair behind my ear while she watched TV or whatever. It was just like a bonding moment between a small girl and her mother. And she pushed me off her lap and never again had that bonding with her. If anything, that was literally like the severing of any type of emotional connection with my mom, that closeness. And it did. I actively started seeking out a stronger relationship with my father. I have memories like being out in a boat in the middle of the lake at 4 a.m. I hate fishing. I like fish. I'll cook them and eat them. But I hate fishing. And I'm in this little tiny boat. It's in the middle of the lake, at 4 o'clock in the morning going, oh my God. I went to work with my dad once. He drove a dump truck. Again, I was like in 4th grade. I was so excited to go to work with my dad. I didn't sleep, and then here we are up at 4 a.m. to get ready to be at work at 6 a.m. or whatever time he had to be there. fallen asleep in a dump truck. I mean, I could fall asleep anywhere. They used to laugh about how I would be asleep in my high chair with 2 hands full of Cheerios, just asleep. And still, at 4th grade, there I am in this loud old dump truck. I remember, and I had one hand out the window and the other hand was on the back of the seat, and I was leaned forward. How I fell asleep like that, I have no idea. But I needed that closeness with my dad. I also began watching football on Sundays, and became an avid, football fan because of it. Now, a lot of those things have passed. I quit watching TV about 5 or 6 years ago, which kind of transpires when it seems like a reoccurring theme on those on the spiritual path, that TV seems to fall away because that programming becomes obsolete. It's like you see the pointlessness in it, and what comes of it, what it tells you, how everything on that TV is simply to tell you you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you need to buy these things to make yourself appear this way, appear that way, appearance. You're peering into a box that tells you how you need to appear. That's a problem. That's a huge problem. And who knows whether there's sinister type things that are going on subliminally, because those things have all been proven also. But here we sit with just the ice, the icing on the cake that we can see. You may not be able to see the subliminal tones, hear the subliminal tones, or see the subliminal messaging, behind each, so fast flickering of the cameras, but you can tell everything on the TV, billboards, magazine is telling you you're not good enough. And that you need to enhance yourself to appear this way, to appear that way. Buy these clothes, buy this makeup, buy this, weight loss, this, and honestly, it's all designed to keep you looking everywhere else for what isn't there. That's the quackery. That's this false matrix that they're speaking of. Just last week, or the week before, I had spent so much time, getting myself elevated, ascending, so to speak, and I hit grounding. And for me, when the grounding hit, it literally felt like a warm embrace, but like there was, what just popped into my head was back when we, on TV, the Star Trek, they would play the chess game that had all those, levels on it. And literally, when I was grounding and I had this warm, it started right through my crown chakra and moved down, and it went to about my solar plexus, because that's what's been lit up these last few weeks, is everything from the solar plexus up. Oh, but when the grounding hit, I could visibly see this chessboard, like a holographic chessboard, lowering through my line of sight into grounding. It was the coolest thing ever. And it was like everything that was high up in the sky, and my vibrations, these frequencies, all these words and things that were just so fantastical to me, lowered into here we are on earth. How do you, stop that Two of Pentacles, integrate, and bring it into, I'm here in 3D for a purpose, not to be up there high in the sky, don't know what y'all are doing. I want to know what you guys are doing because I have a message to get to you. At the same token, it's realizing all of these words that we put. Words, they're just boxes of understanding, folks. That's it. Don't put so much, importance into these words. What does it make you feel? Don't react to those feelings. That's another thing. We have such an emotionally reactive society. I don't know about you, But a million times to not, whenever I'm mad about something or if I'm sad about something, if I stop, back up, back out of the situation, sleep on it, or take time doing whatever, go feel the feelings. Allow yourself to have them. And then when you're done expressing all of the anger, if you're you're kicking dirt, if you're punching pillows, if you're screaming, whatever, do that. And then come back to the thing after you've expressed those feelings. And then once with a level head, after the emotions have cued you in, well, this is how I'm feeling, you can express these things more level-headedly. But we don't have that. What we have is, I'm mad about something, I'm suppressing that anger. You don't see how angry I am because I've got a smile on my face and a smirk. In the back of my head, I'm thinking of the evilest things I could possibly do. And guess what? Those people act on those. Because they don't realize, oh, wait a minute. If I slept on it the next day, I might feel a little less angry. I'm sorry I said that. I'm sorry I did that. Well, no, I'm never wrong. I can't be wrong. You're human beings. We're all wrong. We've all, tripped upstairs. We've all had boogers hanging out of our noses. We've all had toilet paper stuck on our shoes. It's get over the fact that your ego has kept you from being human, because it's nice being human. It's nice being human with other kind humans that are nice. But when you disconnect yourself so far that your feelings are where you react, you think that you can't be wrong because what? Being wrong means you're learning. Hopefully. I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to do anything. But at the end of the day, if you're not evolving, if you're not growing, if you're not expanding, what are you doing? There being this consciousness thing, this spirit, this source, this omnipotent and omnipresent thing that is controlling everything, that's us. That's all of us in that pool. Our mind and our heart interlinked in this whole experience of reality. But nobody stops to see it like that. It's always this person, this thing, this presence, this thing that's outside. And it's you. That's you, baby. When, there are lessons of, you are made in the image of, yeah, you are. You're made exactly in the image of the person next to you and the person next to them and everyone else around you. Those are the images of God. Omnipresent and omnipotent, all wrapped up in a pleasant, beautiful you. You're imperfectly perfect. Because as you look at the world around you, it all relates. Everything relates. Relationships. Everything that you come in contact with, you have a relationship with. You relate to it. You relate to your bed. You relate to the mailman. Now, the levels of relation are different, of course. But we've put way too much importance and way too much validation in these powers outside of our things, and they're simply beliefs. It's a belief that holds all these different programs in place. It really upsets me, the hierarchy. I can't stand hierarchy. I have a piece in the pie. I have a drop in the pool of consciousness. Me and you and every last person here. No one's above or below, or everyone is a fair, equal piece in this. So these hierarchies that we've built, Miss Queen of England, the government here in the United States, police forces, none of these things hold true unless we believe them to hold true. Well, that's just the way it is. Why? Why is that the way it is? Because you believe it is. Stop believing it is, and it stops being so. Oh, well, then that would require you to be a civilly thinking human being who has an interjected part in this. You have to start taking responsibility and saying, you know what? I'm not a crazy lunatic person, and most of my neighbors seem to not be crazy lunatic people. Maybe we can all actually think for ourselves and not require assistance that thinks they're better than us, that will violently put us in cages for simply doing things they don't like. These aren't crimes. I'm not a criminal. I don't steal. I don't lie. I'm fair. I'm almost too fair. Like, I'll give the neighbor the little bit bigger piece of pie, and I'll take the smaller piece because, well, that's just, it makes me feel good. Call me a little selfish because I like to feel good for doing good to others. It's called reciprocity. It's an even energetic flow that happens when you're naturally in flow with the universe. The universe doesn't want you here miserable and upset and sad and hiding it. So you throw up that facade. The universe, source, God wants you happy, abundant, fulfilled, just as this earth has provided you. Everything around you provided the earth. Mama gave it all to you. She gave you. She said you can have food. Eden, heaven on earth. All that isn't heaven on earth is man-made, created hooey, and you can make it go away. It's very simple. Simple things that are hard to do. I'll give you that. You can start by, righting your wrongs and being an honest person, but the stuttering step might come from, who are you honest with when you look in the mirror? Are you an honest self-critic? Can you say, oh man, I was being a dick. I need to quit being a dick. That's a dick move. Would I like that if somebody did that to me? No. Because really what we do have is a world that is just run by overgrown 8-year-olds. That's what an 8-year-old does. An 8-year-old doesn't feel good because you called him a name, so he plots revenge based off the anger, stomps his feet, kicks, at least the 8-year-old is right there in your face being, throwing the fit, being, but these are calculated adults, cleverly disguised as adults, I should say, who simply can't look in the mirror and say, you know what? I'm tired of being an ass. I want to take responsibility for everything I've done wrong and some, because I'm part of this. We're all connected. Scientifically proven, quantum physics opened up that world, said, whoa, facts are no longer facts, folks. Facts are only facts for who's present. I know I'm present. And the facts in my world say, we are not separate. We are consciousness pooled and making this beautiful world back to the Eden it could be. Critical mass was hit. The dominoes are falling. And when I look around me, I notice it, I see it, I sense it, I smell it. I've been getting more of my talents and my gifts online. I mean, it's like a crash course. Meditating and finding out the piece of the pie that was missing when I wanted to love myself like the ones I was watching were loving themselves, the ones they kept saying, Love yourself and go with it. Go with it and love yourself. And I almost wanted to punch my laptop. I'm like, don't tell me that one more time. But I knew that I needed to listen. Being that honest self-critic, I knew it was going to come. And in that meditation, when I saw myself on the ground, I was scared of how hard I was crying. I mean, I've cried hard. This is what I do. I'm an Aquarius. I may be an air sign, very much in my thoughts, but I have a water bearer heart. So my emotions are definitely, they do come spilling out. But this time, I'd never seen myself or felt myself cry like that. And I was scared as I walked closer to me. And I looked up and I said, I've been trying to tell you this whole time. And I just, in that shocked, expression, said, I'm so sorry. And I helped myself up and I gave myself a big hug. And when I came out of that meditation, it hit me like a lightning bolt. The times in my life when my intuition, my gut said, you better not, or you better go do that. And I talked myself into it, talked myself out of it, let somebody else talk myself into or out of something. What was I doing? That's self-abandonment. My intuition, my personal navigation for life is telling me, warning, warning. And what did I do? Oh, but he likes me. Look, he's showing me attention and, whatever. I've talked myself into, out of, let someone else talk myself into and out of, and I've abandoned myself. How many times in my life? At that point, this is just a couple months ago, I sat in shock. Oh my gosh. How many times in my whole life have I done that? A lot. How can I expect my family, my friends, my romantic partners, anyone to do anything less or more? And I couldn't figure out why I love them so much. Why do they keep abandoning my mother, everybody's cut me off, cut me down, no longer block me, don't want nothing to do with me. Well, duh. I said, I'm not going to do that anymore. I made a vow to myself to do my very best every day to change what myself does to that navigation system, because it's not just a navigation system. That is my higher self. That is my fifth dimensional consciousness coming through, and that has been coming through ever since I was 5. Very, very distinctly, telling me exactly the moves. If I had a poor inner dialogue, yes you are, no you're not, I could hear it 3 seconds before I would finish with my sentence. You're not worth love. Yes you are. And it was like, there's somebody thinks that I'm a badass, I guess. But there was this drive in me from it. It was in the worst types of moments, in the times of life when I wanted to give up more than anything. It kept going. It kept me going. It kept telling me, you're something special. You don't realize it, but you are. And when I came out of that meditation and I owned up to that self-abandonment, I said, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be someone who has the standards and the boundaries that are unshakable, because I deserve it. I deserve it, damn it. You deserve it. I also, in an out loud voice, said, I am a psychic, intuitive, empathic healer. I am on a twin flame journey. That imaginary friend of mine that I had at 5 years old, that eventually, as I grew into adolescence, did become the perfect boyfriend. I mean, because any, adolescent coming of age woman isn't going to just have some, unsexed imaginary friend. It had to at least be a boy. And it was like this never abandoning, always loving source of manifestation that kept me idealizing and realizing all along, you know, at the bottom of my soul, top of my crown chakra, there was something in me that knew you deserve goodness, you deserve love, you deserve to be respected and honored, and the people around you deserve the same from you, despite how you get treated. That doesn't justify. Nothing justifies you being the one who does the infliction, the one that does any pain. Nothing does, because there is reward in doing good. It feels good. It feels good to know that although others were hurting and they hurt me, I didn't. I did my very best. You know, I may not have been the perfect, but that's not the point. In the moments when I needed to learn something, I hopefully sat back and learned it. I want to heal. I want to be the healer, the teacher, the voice that helps someone, if just one. I want that for everybody. And I've said this since 2011. I want ET touch every person so they get it, so the light, that feeling, that warm chakra coming online feeling that just, it warms you from the inside. What that feels like. I want each person to know that being honest and being universal flow, righting your wrongs, living with integrity, walking that path is what brings in the abundance and the heaven on earth that we're seeking. Fifth dimensional consciousness is a level of comfort that we will exist in. This is a reality. You can ride the cosmic wave like a surfer, like the Silver Surfer. A lot of us empaths, and we have that thing with the superheroes. So I've always imagined myself as the Silver Surfer riding the cosmic waves into fifth dimensional consciousness because I want to reside on Earth in fifth dimensional consciousness with that thing going on. I want to see this world lit up, glowing, where the things that we want just manifest and materialize right before our eyes. And how does this happen? Because we want it that way. Look at it around you guys. We wanted it this way, and we got it. So guess what? If there's enough of y'all that want the fuzziness of love to be everywhere, I want the world to be fuzzy. That would be great. It's so fuzzy. That's what I want. I want the world to be fuzzy. Fuzzy with love and abundance and that idea changing. This lack is what created this. I'm unhappy with it. I want to see the fuzzy world, and I want to manifest things just right here. And when I want to go somewhere, I just want to will it. I just want to will myself there and will myself there, because that is possible. Why isn't it possible? Everything that ours touch, again, was what we wanted. We got what we wanted. Let's want something better. This is the Ethereal Aquarian. I'm going to end this 30-minute video now, and hopefully I got my message through tonight. It had to happen. I love you all. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll be back. I'm going to do tarot card readings. I'm going to share experiences. This is, kind of a bleh. But my message got out tonight, and that was A1 important. I love you all very much. Keep shining. Let's make this world fuzzy with love. Peace.